Elon Musk is in the headlines again, and it's not because he challenged the president of Russia for combat. You see, this time the SpaceX CEO has successfully destroyed his arch nemesis, Zuckerberg, with his newest move. So what has he done this time? How long has this rivalry been? Want to find out more? You're at the right video then. Let's talk about it. Now, a lot of you might already know that the god of Tesla is the god of Twitter too now. That's right, folks. Elon Musk has officially bought Twitter, and everyone seems pretty alert ever since the news came out. Especially Elon's arch nemesis, Zuckerberg. We are already aware of how Elon and Zuckerberg haven't been that friendly with each other for ages, and no one has bothered to keep it a secret. And the first thing that Musk did after announcing his wish to buy Twitter was shade Zuckerberg for having total power over major communication platforms like Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram. And since he is the owner of Twitter himself now, Musk has been putting out some statements to gain the trust of the Bird app users, and at the same time, he has also been pointing out some unpleasant aspects of the way Zuckerberg manages the social media platforms owned by him. Now let's talk about the shocking move made by Musk, his Twitter purchase. The CEO of Tesla has quite recently expressed his wish of purchasing Twitter, and it seems like his stars were aligned because finally, he is the owner of Twitter. Quite recently in Vancouver for a TED conference, Musk shed some light on how Zuckerberg is exercising too much control over public debates. As we all know, for Elon being the sarcastic king that he is, he called the Facebook owner, Zuckerberg, the 14th, as a reference to the Sun King. Now, if we think about it, both Musk and Zuckerberg are obscenely rich and owners of major social media platforms where thousands of people post personal opinions and debate online. It won't be wrong to say that in 2022, Twitter is one of the hottest places where people create, deconstruct, and then reconstruct their opinions regarding several social, political, and other matters. So what happens when the richest person in the world purchases one of the hottest apps for debate? Guess we will find out. Musk did seem to be very protective of the defense of democracy and protection of freedom of speech. When someone asked him what he would say to all the critics who are pointing out the fact that the richest man in the world is controlling such an influential platform and how it might be dangerous, the owner of the boring company replied, "I am planning to make the platform more open, not restricted." As for media sort of ownership, I mean, you've got Mark Zuckerberg owning Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp, and with a share ownership structure that will have Mark Zuckerberg, the 14th, still controlling those entities. Like, literally, we won't have that at Twitter. The main reason behind Elon's criticism directed towards Zuckerberg, besides their rivalry, was how he was the owner of 12.8% of Meta, the parent company of Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram. Musk, on the other hand, mentioned how he only owns 9.1% of Twitter and that he plans to keep the maximum number of shareholders instead of dominating the figures himself. That's not all, folks. The eccentric millionaire has a whole list of stuff he plans to do after he takes control of the app. That includes making Twitter's algorithm open source and being on the side of freedom of speech instead of censorship. And of course, the worst thing about Twitter, the bots. Musk also plans to take care of them. Giving the users what they wanted for God knows how long, Musk announced that Twitter will now have an edit button. Now, this might be great news for some people, but we can't ignore the fact that it also saves a lot of people from accountability. Wait, have we told you how the feud between Zuckerberg and Musk began? Well. It all started when the Falcon 9 rocket of SpaceX accidentally crashed into the AMOS-6 satellite of Facebook in 2016. After that, whether it's artificial intelligence, rockets, or ownership of social media platforms, both the moguls have clashed with each other again and again. And how can we forget the fact that Elon is almost like a troll on Twitter? Can you guess who is the potential target for Musk's trolling abilities? We'll give you a bunch of hints. The person has been under fire for messing around with the personal information of people. That's right, folks, none other than Zuckerberg. But it's not like Mark didn't have any retorts to the sarcastic remarks passed by Musk. The CEO of Facebook didn't hesitate in criticizing Musk's thoughts about artificial intelligence. I have quite strong opinions on this. With artificial intelligence especially, I'm really optimistic, and I think that people who are naysayers and try to drum up these doomsday scenarios, I don't understand it. It's really negative, and in some ways, I actually think it's pretty irresponsible. That got a rise out of Elon as he gave a quite pointed answer through his tweet. I've talked to Mark about this. His understanding of the subject is limited. Whew, well, ouch. Now let's see who makes the next move in the Musk-Zuckerberg rivalry, because we don't expect the moguls to be shaking hands anytime soon. With that being said, that's all for today's video. Click on one of the 4 videos on your screen right now.